Welcome to Missing on Monday, where the details of a new missing persons case will be explored each week. Some of the content covered may be sensitive. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, welcome back to Missing on Monday. I'm Candace.
And I'm Ashley. And we want to welcome you to the official end of season 1 of Missing on Monday.
Yay! We're just excited for season 2 episodes.
We've got some interesting things coming your way. We are going to be expanding the topics of our podcast just a bit to cover people who were missing at one point and their case may be solved. They may have been found, what have you. So you'll have a lot of new topics and new discussions to look forward to in season 2 for today. And then next Monday, we're going to be recapping all of our previous episodes to give you any updates. Just the first 10. We're going to give you any updates that we found, let you guys know how all of these people are doing. And then we will be back on February 28th with a brand new season.
So we already said, we are very excited, and it will be nice to at least have some cases that have some closure, whatever that may be. Not all of them, but there will be a sprinkle of them in there.
We also really want to take a moment to thank everyone. We've had a recent surge in listeners, and with that, we've gotten a lot of really great reviews. And obviously that means a lot to us. We're really grateful. We love it when you guys give us your feedback, whether it be good or bad. We take everything that you say to heart. We do want you to know that if you have some constructive criticism, please shoot it to our email, missingonmondaypodcast@gmail.com. We would be happy to hear you out, make changes where necessary. But yeah, so thank you for your feedback and listening and being a part of this. We love it.
Yes. Thank you for coming back each week to listen to Ashley and I talk. I don't think ever in my life I thought I would be in a situation where basically
people give a shit what we have to say,
right? And hundreds of people tune in every week to hear what we have to say. So the appreciation we have and how thankful we are, I don't think honestly can be put into words.
Yeah.
With that being said,
let's jump into
shit.
Another game of shit you don't really need to know. This time it's my turn. So Candace, this one's for you. Chimpanzees are bonkers. They'll steal and eat the babies of rival clans, and they often A, eat their own kids on accident, B, mistake human babies for chimpanzees and then take them, C, carry their skull around as a warning, or D, have sex with corpses.
Oh my God. Oh, I gotta digest that for a second.
Let that one sink in.
Okay. So A was accidentally eat their own babies.
Yeah.
B was
mistake human babies for their own and then take them.
C,
carry their skull around as a warning. And D, have sex with corpses.
Okay, well, I don't think it's D. Like chimpanzee court, it doesn't, I know it doesn't give you like an explanation.
Does not
Oh my
explain any
God.
further. Bear in mind, the one that I thought was abso-freaking-lutely not possible last week was the answer.
Yeah. I just don't think it's D. This is a real unfortunate answer, but I'm gonna go with A, that they kill their own babies on accident. Hey, we have to talk to our producers about getting some real sound effects in here, but also we are the producers, so we'll figure that out one day.
Somebody call our manager. Candace guessed A, chimpanzees often accidentally eat their own kids. That is incorrect. The correct answer is chimpanzees mistake human babies for chimpanzees and then take them.
That was my second guess.
And actually, that makes a lot of sense. And
It
they
does, 'cause
probably
monkeys and
even
humans
take
look
care of
like-
them.
They probably
They're
do.
like, this is my little baby.
They're
It
like,
doesn't
why
have
don't
any
you have?
fur.
I was gonna say it doesn't have fur, and why don't you have any little bugs on you to get off? But
Right. So then maybe they think it's sick and then they take it and they're like, hey, little buddy, let me take care of you.
let me take care of you so you can grow some hair and get warm.
All right. So there you have it. That is this week's shit you don't really need to know.
All right. So our first recap episode, we will be going over episodes 1 through 5 today. Ashley, take it away.
All right. So we are starting with Mary Davis Johnson. So we'll go over quickly Mary's story. Mary,
Hold on.
What?
Before we start this, we will do a very short recap of each episode. But if you have not been listening to us since the beginning and you're interested to know more details about any of the things that we're going to talk about, the episodes are available. You can go back and listen to all of them in great detail.
I just want to throw it out there that my editing skills were a little less on point back then.
We will definitely say, if you have not gone back and listened from the beginning, you will see a massive growth in a lot of things in the podcast. So I will
we
say
got
the first
better
few
equipment.
yeah.
We got better mics. We learned that we can't record in the same room.
There's a lot of things that have
so
changed.
On and so forth.
Yes. So if you do go back and listen to those episodes, there's great information there. But don't judge us. We were just little starting out. Yeah, we were little. I mean, we're still
baby podcasters.
I mean, maybe like little toddlers now, but we know toddlers. A little bit more.
Yes, we do.
So with that being said, if you do want more information on the episodes, because you were like, well, wait, hold on, what happened? Like, all of the information is there. Feel free to go back and listen. Okay.
And I feel like the fact that we have some haters means that we're doing all right.
Here's the thing. We know that we can't please everybody. That's just the way that the world works. You know, and that's fine. We've accepted it. We move on.
You could be the juiciest peach in the world, and there's always going to be somebody that doesn't like peaches.
Amen, sister.
So, with that being said, let's talk about Mary. So, Mary Davis Johnson went missing in Marysville, Washington. She was last seen on November 25th, 2020. And if we remember, that was the day before Thanksgiving. She was walking to meet a friend for a ride, but unfortunately, she never made it to that ride and was not seen again. She was separated from her husband at the time, and there were problems between them. He was actually getting ready to move out of state, and she was reported missing almost 2 weeks later by her husband. There seemed to be problems getting law enforcement to get involved. because it was on reservation land and there's a lot of murky water where that is concerned. At the time we aired our episode in October of 2021, the FBI was offering a $10,000 reward. And since then, her sister has put in some serious work and has worked with several different organizations. And the tribe has added an additional $50,000 to that reward.
Isn't that amazing?
That's absolutely incredible. And I really, truly hope that tribal police and local law enforcement are teaming up on this, because
I have a great update on that also. They are actually getting local law enforcement help, state patrol. I mean, people are showing up to really try to help them from what I read.
I love that.
I'd love that. And like when we did that episode, that was like the hardest thing for us. Like,
couldn't get anybody to talk to us.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Tulalip Tribal Police Chief Chris Sutter said, "We still have a list of persons of interest that we are working from, and I can't go beyond that at this time. As we do receive leads, we are following them to resolution, and we appreciate all the people that have so far called in, and we're hoping the enhanced reward fund of $60,000 total will increase those leads and tips."
And we hope so too. $60,000 is a lot of money. I'm sorry if I remember the case and some of the shady characters that potentially could have been involved. They probably would be interested in $60,000.
Exactly. I really like to talk to her husband.
He ain't talking to nobody.
That's
I
right.
know he still isn't.
He straight up dipped to what, California?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to know more information, once again, the whole episode is available. Moving on, we are going to talk about Jennifer Caridad, one of our most, I feel, crazy cases. There is a lot of crazy things that happened with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So recap, Jennifer Caridad went missing August 8th, 2021 from her home in Sunnyside, Washington. She left the house to go pick up her boyfriend, Aurelio Escobar. After she never returned home and her phone was turned off, her father reported her missing on August 9th, 2021. That very same day, Jennifer's dad got a call from the Yakima Police Department regarding an abandoned car that was registered to him that happened to be Jennifer's car. It was found at the scene of a shooting in Yakima. It's about 40 miles from Sunnyside. From this point on, her boyfriend Aurelio went on a giant crime spree, stealing cars, robbing people through Washington and Oregon, where he was finally caught after a high-speed chase with multiple Oregon law enforcement agencies. He even openly fired on police officers and in turn ended up getting shot, because if you shoot at a police officer, they will shoot back.
They sure as shit will.
He did survive. Unfortunately, he would not say a word about Jennifer. We do know that in her car that was found, there was blood found in that car.
And in an article on December 21st, 2021 from KTVL News 10, Police Commander Scott Bailey said the main holdup on the case has been the fact that it's really difficult to get a search warrant in cases like this, because even though criminal charges have been filed against Aurelio, both in Oregon and in Washington, a missing persons case is not considered a criminal case. And, we know that.
And we talked about in the episode how frustrating all of this was.
Mm-hmm. He said, in order to get into the vehicle, we had to get a search warrant, and a missing persons cases, there is no criminal charge within the revised Code of Washington, RCW, that is defined as a missing person. So in order to get a search warrant, we had to find a way, because we can't manipulate the system, and then ultimately anything that is found from that car is fruit of the poisonous tree. So anything that they find in that car without a search warrant, they can't use in court. It's just inadmissible. So basically, they have to really be tricky in the way that they collect evidence, because they don't have a warrant to search. He said, we are taking our steps very slowly to make sure that the information that we get will be available to be used in court at a later date. We are working with the prosecutor's office in order to do everything. And that way it may take longer, but the justice that will be done in the end will be by the letter of the law.
Even though that is hard, we have to respect that they are truly doing their best to make sure that it is done correctly, so that when it does go to court, justice can be served. Escobar has a Measure 11 settlement hearing scheduled in Jackson County, Oregon on March 3rd. It's thought he will probably be extradited to face charges in Washington after he's sentenced there. I know you're all probably wondering, because I was wondering, what is a Measure 11 settlement?
Yeah.
So, a Measure 11 settlement is a measure that imposes long mandatory prison terms for 16 designated violent and sexual offenses. Measure 11 prohibits early release and ensures that the sentence announced in court is the sentence that is actually served by the offender. I like it in this case.
16 violent and sex-related offenses?
Not for him. No, that's the law. That's the Measure 11 settlement. So there's 16 different designated offenses.
Okay.
That fall under this
I thought it
Measure
meant like
11.
You had to have 16 different violent or sex-related offenses. And I'm like, go to jail. Go to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Night-night, mother trucker.
So, but in this case, like, I love this Measure 11 settlement, because so here we go. I pulled up his current charges.
Hot damn.
Right.
That is some doll hairs.
I know you're reading ahead here. So, a first offense is a felony. He's a fugitive from Washington. It's a felony offense. It's a lot of money in itself. It's like $250,000. Unlawful use of a weapon, $1 million.
Felony.
He also has felony possession of a firearm. He also has attempting to elude the police by vehicle. He also has reckless endangering and reckless driving. They literally are just trying to throw the book at him, which I love. Unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, and three charges of attempted murder in the first degree.
Oh my God, if you could see my face right now.
Yeah. That's why I added this information in there, because it's like, doesn't it kind of make you happy?
Hey, Aurelio, you're screwed, bro.
Oh yeah. And this is just that's just in Oregon, girl.
No, Washington.
No.
It says fugitive Washington felony.
That's only that charge.
Oh, because his hearing is scheduled in Oregon.
Yes. He still has to come back to Washington and be sentenced here.
He's going to catch these hands if he comes into contact with me. I'm just kidding. I'm not that tough. I'm really not tough
also, if you remember correctly,
he's a gangster. So
like for real one.
Anyways, Aurelio probably doesn't listen to podcasts. So
he doesn't, and he's in prison. He ain't listening to this. Anyway, so we will definitely be waiting to see what happens on that March 3rd sentencing, or that Measure 11 sentencing hearing, to see what comes of that. And actually, we'll probably update you guys on our Instagram and Facebook if we find out anything at that time, because I am real interested to know. I actually have an alarm set in my phone.
It's less than 3 weeks away, so
I know, it's not even far.
Coming soon.
Hopefully more information coming on that.
So our next update is on Nikki McCown. She has been missing since July 22nd, 2001 from Richmond, Indiana. This one really bothers me because it's just so upsetting. She was last known to be doing laundry at a laundromat. She had a wedding that was a couple of weeks away. Her car was found 3.5 months later with the folded laundry in a basket in the back seat. If you go back and look at our Instagram, you can see those photos. And honestly, her fiance did some questionable things, like just after her disappearance, with trying to get the money back from her college tuition and all that kind of stuff.
Just bizarre things.
Just very odd things. And immediately canceling the wedding, and it was odd. But then we have Tommy, who was her old friend and coworker, who was he kind of wanted something more with her. And then eventually, years later, when the police came knocking, because he was connected to, he was connected from DNA to a murder of another woman. It wasn't connected to Nikki's case per se, but when the police tried to approach him, he shot and killed himself.
And here's the thing, is because now they had a reason to bring his ass in, and now they could actually question him about Nikki.
Exactly. But he done murked himself.
Which, I mean,
kind of puts blood on your hands, bud.
Yeah, so
unfortunately,
and it's a really old case, unfortunately.
21 years ago. Well, yeah. 20 years ago. Nothing new has really come of it that we know of. Her fiance was cleared, and Tommy was the only person of interest. He is no longer with us, so that is where we sit as of now.
Yes. All right. And our fourth episode was our Halloween episode. We did a special episode. It was on Cindy Song. She was a student at Penn State. She went missing on October 31st, 2001, after going out with her friends. She was dressed in a cute little bunny costume.
That's what I remember.
I know.
Every time I hear her name, I think of her in a little bunny costume and how cute she looks.
Her friends dropped her off at her apartment around 4 a.m. and she was never heard or seen from again. This case, there is a lot more information on the case. We can't get into all of it. I'm sorry. There was some speculation about some serial killers and stuff that unfortunately
they didn't pan out.
It didn't pan out, but I still think there's a possibility. Anyway, this case is still cold with no leads. Once again, it's a 20-year-old case, unfortunately. Yeah. So there's that one.
So our fifth episode was on Lauren El Cho.
This was a real
this one was a real zinger. So Elle went missing June 28th, 2021 from Yucca Valley, California. And if you remember, she was living in this little kind of hippie community called The Hole. She was last seen walking away from the Airbnb she was staying at, where she was hired to be a private chef by this super well-to-do Hollywood guy, Tao Raspoli.
He's also a ninth prince.
He's also a douche. You would think I would have learned my lesson from calling people douches, but like,
yeah, let's just.
come on,
It's
man.
fine.
So the Airbnb was literally in the middle of the desert in Joshua Tree. And to jog your memory, this is a place where very difficult terrain, people do go missing often because it's hot as hell. And you kind of like, it's
You have to
tough
really
out
be
there.
prepared to like
Yeah, to like
be there.
exactly. So when she left, she just walked into the desert and it was 3:00 in the afternoon and she took absolutely nothing with her. Red flag. Her friend
Also,
and
let's just realize this is June
in California,
in the desert at 3:00 in the afternoon.
literally the hottest time of the day.
Yeah.
So her friend and ex-boyfriend, who are the same person, reported her missing about 2 hours later, which normally you don't report a missing person that quickly, but because of the circumstances, it's 3:00 in the afternoon, it's hot as hell, and it's rough terrain. Of course, you're going to report her missing. There were multiple aerial searches and ground searches, including ATVs and dogs, to no avail. They were only able to find footprints of the people who were looking for her, but not from Elle herself, interestingly enough.
And she was wearing Doc Martens,
which leave a very distinct footprint, especially in a desert where it's most likely dirt and or sand.
Yeah.
They were not able to get a search warrant for the Airbnb for a month. And during that time, it continued to be rented. So who the hell knows what happened during that time?
And obviously after a month, they couldn't find anything because
shocker, there's nothing
crime
there.
scene, is like wiped away.
So there were 3 bodies found from those searches, but none of them were her. And again, Joshua Tree it's not unusual for people to go missing in that area. Another set of remains were found on October 9th, 2021. So this is 4 months ago. And they weren't far from where she was staying. And by October 28th, the remains were confirmed to be Elle.
And that was all in the episode. That's kind of like, we didn't have any other information at that time. I would say if you're going to go back and listen to any episode, this is a good one. Unfortunately, since the confirmation that the remains were her, it's basically been crickets, like eerily crickets. We've been waiting for a cause of death, but have not heard a word, which we think is really odd. After October 28th, there is nothing, no information.
Literally nothing.
Even searching the web after October 28th, you can't find anything about her.
It's almost as if some really wealthy, well-to-do person has spent a lot of their doll hairs to cover something up.
That, or they have something and they're working with what they have quietly behind the scenes so that they can build a case. It's like one of the two things. That's how I feel.
I mean, is that typical though? Because it's been 3.5 months since they found her body. Does it really take that long to build a case when you have forensics? Like, there's only so much you can do with a body.
Yeah, but that's the thing is I don't know if maybe they're not releasing the cause of death
because it will implicate someone so like pointedly.
Yes, you know what I mean? Like,
coming for you, Tao.
I don't even know. It could be the ex-boyfriend. I don't even know.
It's not the ex. Well, I take that back. A lot of times the person who reports the missing person is the one that done it.
So once again, we don't really know anything.
We never know anything. We're just speculating.
Which is why we are excited to be able to sprinkle in season 2 some cases that do actually have some kind of closure for you all and us.
Yeah.
And that was episode 5. Next week we will have episode 6 through 10, and that will be it for season 1, and then we will be moving on to new stuff for season 2. So what do you think?
Honestly, the one that like irks me the most is Mary, for one, because I feel like Mary has still yet to get the exposure that she deserves.
Oh, she's getting it now. She is getting it now.
She's getting it now, but like, why? It shouldn't take this long, and it shouldn't take $60,000.
It shouldn't.
And that bothers me.
Well, and we already know the whole reason that she's getting the exposure that she's getting now is because it started getting traction after. We don't usually talk about this person
Gabby Petito.
But Gabby Petito. So it was after that the case even started getting traction, or like people, started looking into it.
But honestly, the other thing that really bothers me about Mary's story is that I feel like a lot of people cling to the fact that she had an addiction. And it's very similar to Andrea Knable. There are a lot of people that are like
focusing on that.
I'm going to be quick to write this person off because they had an addiction. And it's almost like once you learn that about a person, you don't, like, some people don't view them as human anymore or worth it. And that just baffles me, because that couldn't be farther from the truth. And from what we know about Mary, I mean, the videos that we've seen and the photos that we've seen and the conversations that we've had with her sisters, addiction is only one very small piece of who a human being is. And I don't care who it is. It's only one small piece of who that person is. It may overcome their life for a season, and it may be the last season, but maybe it's not. And so if I could tell anybody anything, please stop fixating on the addictions that people have if they happen to go missing, because 9 times out of 10, it probably has nothing to do with that.
Or the only reason that it has something to do with that is because some people that kill people that
target
are fighting
certain kinds of people.
Exactly. Because maybe they are estranged from their families because of their addiction and people setting boundaries and things like that. And
the same can be said for, there are serial killers out there who target prostitutes, sex workers, people who don't align with their convictions. And like, that's cool, but stay in your own lane. If that's the one thing that I could tell anybody that listens to our podcast, is just stay in your own lane, stop judging people, and just remember that we're all humans and we all deserve to be loved and cared for. And if we go missing, we all deserve to be found.
Yes. My hard one that I still just think is like freaking nuts is the Jennifer Caridad case. Like that whole crime spree and all of that. I will, even though that they have not found her yet, I do have high hopes that her family will get closure, whatever that is, eventually.
Yeah, I do too. Because the thing, like with these cases that are, 20 plus years old, it's kind of hard to hold out any sort of hope that something new is going to come along. But I mean, we're talking August of 2021. So
it's very recent.
It's very recent. There are so many things that could still come to light. It's possible that, who knows, maybe like we win the podcast lottery and Jennifer's episode gets shared all over the world, and then the right person hears it and they come forward because they saw something and they decided to say something. Who knows? Those are the ones that really tug at my heartstrings the most, because they're not found and they still can be found. And call me like hopeful or optimistic, I don't know, but I feel like because it's so recent, She could still be alive. She could be. Yes, there was blood found in the car, but she could be.
She could be. The other thing is, if she's not, like, what did he do with her body?
Right, because because they can't find it. What the
I don't know.
water?
Well, so, but if you remember, they did a dive search in that lake where he shot that fisherman,
Mm-hmm.
and there was nothing. I don't know. Once again, I think because this case also is so recent, we have Google alerts set up. So if anything, I mean, obviously after Aurelio's stuff in March, or his hearing in March, we'll update about that, but hopefully something is found. At this point, I think her parents, whatever the closure is, like, they just want to know. So
I think that's probably one of the most difficult parts of covering stories that are so recent is that the hurt is so fresh and the wounds are so fresh for the family, and we do try and talk to the families prior to releasing an episode, and
sometimes we can't,
but sometimes we can. And I mean, my God, just to give them some closure and give them whatever that may look like, allow them to move on from this feeling of being suspended in space and time and allow them to move forward is really all that they want.
Yeah. And that is a wrap. Ashley and I had a great Galentine's.
Yes, we did.
It literally ended up only being us, and it was actually perfect. We had so much fun since Ashley and I,
even though our husbands were not happy about it.
Honestly, they were there to witness it. They were entertained.
They crashed our Galentine's.
Yeah, so that's their own darn fault.
Yeah, you can just go night with that.
Since Ashley and I started the podcast, unfortunately, when we do get together, it's we're
all
usually
podcast
talking
all the time. And even last night we did talk about the podcast a little bit,
but it was like in fun.
It wasn't
light.
Fun.
It wasn't like we weren't working.
No, we were not working.
So
finally, I was like, dude,
freaking good.
We need to hang out and just hang out.
Yes.
And not talk about missing people.
Yeah. So it was perfect. We had such a great freaking time. Also, this episode is going to air on on Valentine's Day. So happy
Valentine's Day.
We hope that you have lots of love today. And
you know what? If you don't have that special someone, I hope you love your damn self, because you are worth it.
That is right.
Personally, I think Valentine's Day is
a Hallmark
a crock of shit. Ryan always wants to do something fancy on Valentine's Day, and I'm like, hell no. I would rather stay at home in my jammies and drink a beer and watch a movie and snuggle on the couch. Or not. You can go work on your car and that's fine. And I'll eat pizza and watch Netflix, and that's cool, because Valentine's Day is what you make it. So if you want Valentine's Day to be phenomenal, then I hope your Valentine's Day is phenomenal. And if you're just out there being a boss bitch by your damn self, good for you. Go buy yourself some flowers and some wine or whatever and love yourself, because that's what you deserve.
Also, I don't think that we have a lot of dudes that listen.
I don't think so either.
It's fine.
Probably not.
Even if they don't. If there are any, just a word to the wise, yes, flowers are nice. And I'm not saying that this goes for.
We don't want them. I don't want them.
I'm not saying that this goes for every female. I'm saying for us, I feel like they're retarded expensive.
There are a lot of other
Valentine's
things
Day.
that you could spend $150 on. A lot
Like,
of other
go
things.
get your girl a massage. Like, get her a
Or-
massage or a pedicure.
Or a pair of Vans that have flowers on them.
I mean, there's like,
Because that's what Ryan
get her
gets me.
something that like she will
She
truly
wants and
enjoy
can
for
use.
herself. Yes.
Because flowers
Not something
just
that's gonna die in 2 days.
Yeah. And like freaking Valentine's Day flowers are just so overrated. So overrated. Unless you like that kind of thing.
If
then
you like that kind of thing, that's great. It's just
cool.
I think Ashley and I kind of have like practical mindsets.
Yeah. Like I would rather you do the dishes and make me dinner, truthfully, or like clean the bathroom. I don't know. Or leave me alone for a whole day where I don't have to do literally anything. Oh no, that's Mother's Day. That's Mother's Day. Okay.
That's Mother's Day.
Valentine's Day we snuggle and we don't buy $150 bouquets of flowers.
That
That
like I said, if you want to do something, like give me a massage, give me a pedicure. Something that I will enjoy.
Here's like a real secret man tip for any random men who happen to be listening. Make a group text with all of her friends and plan for a girls' night out with all of her friends after Valentine's Day. But like, that is her gift. Her and her girlfriends have a night all to themselves where they can do what they please and have a good ass night. And everything is taken care of, whether she has children or fur babies or responsibilities at home. Everything is taken care of. And
give her a night off.
You're giving her a night off with her friends. That is your gift to her. That's what she wants. Promise.
Okay. So I think Ashley and I are done with our love advice. We're not professionals.
We are married though, so we do know something.
We are married. And we're just speaking of our own preferences. But with that being said, happy freaking love day. We hope that you receive love, give love,
feel loved, and love your damn self.
Yeah, love yourself.
Because you're worth it. Girl. You're worth it. You're worth it.
Okay, that's it. We're wrapping it up. We will talk to you guys next week with the next episode 6 through 10 updates. And we hope that you have a great week.
If you love us, rate us, please. 5 stars. If you don't love us, please don't rate us. Just send us an email. Let us know why you don't love us.
And also, if you don't love us and we're just not your jam, it's okay. You don't have to listen.
You don't have to listen. It's totally fine. But also don't leave like really mean reviews because my feelers get hurt. Candace is thicker skinned, but my feelers get hurt. So don't do that. Don't be that guy or that girl. Yeah. Anyways, we love you. We hope you have an amazing week. We'll be back next week with part 2 of the season 1 finale. And until then, have an amazing week. Happy Valentine's Day. We love you.
Bye.
Bye. Don't go missing.